Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. It is week 7 of the 3-3-0 to go high school football show. I am Mike Voorhees.
I missed him.
You missed him already?
I missed him.
Wow.
I missed him.
Wow. We're not even a minute in, and wow. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How was your time off?
Dude, it was great. It was fantastic. I feel better. Like, I feel different. Like,
just more like bottle it up and give me some. I need something. It's a Friday. I feel like it's Friday. Is it a 13th? Is today the 13th?
No, today is not the 13th.
It's the 4th.
It is the 4th. Next Friday.
Is the 13th?
I think so.
No.
Would be the 11th.
4 plus 7 is what?
Math is hard.
11.
Math is hard. Anyway, you heard Matt talk about Tim Nichols. I want to personally say thank you to Tim for sitting in, helping us out, keeping Matt on task, which is a
very difficult
challenge in itself, but he was phenomenal. So
it's tough to take the lead. I'm not going to lie. It's tough being you. I had to lead the show a little bit.
You did great, dude. I watched the show. You guys had some,
I appreciate that.
You had some great chemistry. Like, the show flowed well.
Yeah,
so yeah, you guys did a great job.
Tim.
Well, get him on the phone, and I can take another week off, and he can slide in. Folks,
don't dare me with a vacation.
I know.
Day,
don't tease me.
Mike, what do we got going on?
Man, it is week 7. Where has the season gone? Feels like we just started this a couple weeks ago, and it was week 1.
Yeah,
and the season. Some of these scores, man, my goodness.
From
week 6. Yes. Yeah. How about McKinley over Green? 26-17. Hoover over Glen Oak, 21-7. Jackson over Perry, 31-13.
I would have had Perry.
Perry, I don't know what happened. Perry started off strong. They lost to McKinley. Now they lost to Jackson.
But they'll right the ship.
They'll right the ship.
But they beat Lake. Isn't that crazy?
It's the power of the Federal League.
The Federal League's down to who would you put in the, and then Jackson comes and beats them. So if you had to put like the top 3 in the Federal in your mind, forgetting records of how you feel it could shake out, what would you say they are?
McKinley.
I'll agree.
Lake.
Agree. Here's where our third one could go different.
Green.
Okay. No, we're actually spot on. That's actually all right.
I'd say Perry and Hoover are tied for 4th.
That's where I thought you might add them in as a 4th.
I've seen Hoover play. They look really good. Okay. And if they can get some solid quarterback play, obviously their starting quarterback out for the season, tore his ACL. Their backup quarterback, who is a dual threat, John Collins, if he can get that offense humming, watch out. Hoover's got a strong defense. So anything's possible in the Federal League.
Especially in the playoffs.
This next score is what got me. DeMatha Catholic of Maryland defeats the Massillon Tigers 20-14. Folks,
this is a different team, right, that beat Hoban.
Yes. So guys,
Maryland team.
Here's where it gets funny. I have people messaging me going, "Oh, Massillon lost again. They're not as tough as you think they are." But hey guys, have you seen their schedule? Okay.
No,
they play 3.
They made that comment.
3 road games. They have played their schedule. They are playing powerhouse teams galore.
Yeah, it's fact.
There's nothing bringing in. They're a very talented squad. They're playing another team. I think they're playing a team from Canada tonight.
Real problem.
Massillon. Just wait, guys. Just wait.
They're sitting at top because I've seen a little bit of the rankings coming out, and they still have Massillon as the number 1 team in Ohio at 4-2.
Their Massillon is their schedule, guys.
People know what's going on out
there.
Louisville over Canton Central Catholic 7-6. Shout out to Louisville. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Northwest over Tuslaw 46-7.
Got back on the winning.
Man, shout out the Manchester Panthers, guys. They're rolling 49-9 over Canton South.
Are they undefeated?
They are undefeated. And we may be talking about Manchester here, guys.
We got to get out there. We got to travel out 241.
We might have to. Orville over Fairless 31-0. Alliance gets the win. They beat Salem 20-16. West Branch continues to roll. I won't read that score. I will show respect. If you want to see the score, the ticker is across the bottom.
Yeah, we're running it.
You've got Indian Valley over Sandy Valley 42-14. Malvern over Strasburg 41-14. Rootstown over St. Thomas Aquinas 41-6. East shuts out Ellett 42-0. Well, I just did. You didn't catch me quick enough.
Okay.
Garfield over North 35-22.
Okay.
St. Vincent St. Mary drops another one. Elyria Catholic 28, St. Vincent St. Mary 22. Hoban, 56. Mount Vernon Township. Not sure where they're from.
Mount Vernon.
Not from Ohio. No shot. No way. Mount Vernon Township?
Maybe.
I don't know. Help us out,
Didn't
folks.
Uniontown used to be a township?
I don't know.
We'll do it live.
Anyway, Walsh wins 20-12 over Benedictine.
That was a rough one.
Was it?
I was at that. That was a complete torrential downpour. Do we have that to be able to play this?
Do we
Guys, if you're watching, seriously, this is what I had to sit through.
This was
and I'm
Friday night.
This is why actually I don't want Tim back, because Tim wished this on me.
Oh no.
He brought up some weather,
Tim.
and I was like so
Tim.
flabbergasted that morning when he was saying it was like, it's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be a monsoon. And I'm like, really, a monsoon? And
live look in here right now. We are out here at John Carroll.
7-3-1.
Absolute monsoon again. There's all the gear. It's coming in handy again.
so the only reason I mentioned the gear is I got teased. I got teased the first time I had to wear that out when it was well, I was at the St. V Walsh game.
Yep.
And that was from kickoff to the end of the game. It's just, I mean, there's maybe little
Constant.
spurts of no rain, but for the most part, it was pretty crazy at night. It comes in handy. So the funny part was
Rain gear is
walking
good.
into it. Even my wife was like, "Are you seriously going to take all that?" And I'm like, "Yes." So I wear it in.
It's better.
We get in, and
to-
I get made fun of by multiple other people at Walsh,
Well.
rightfully so, in good humor. So I take it off, like I roll it up, and it wasn't even 10 minutes later, and that started, and it was ridiculous.
Well, there
and
you
then
go.
you saw all the parents who didn't bring their umbrellas, and that's always fun because I had two.
Yeah, well,
Did your grandmother ever tell you the same? It's better to have it and need it than need it
and not have it. That's
There
what. That's
it
how I
is.
feel about money.
I wish I felt that
That's
way. I
how
don't
I
have,
feel
I don't
about
have any of
money.
that.
There
All
you
right.
go.
All right,
Anyway,
so Walsh picks it up against Penny.
Copley over Kent Roosevelt 34-20. Aurora over Cuyahoga Falls.
Don't say it.
Nope. Wadsworth in overtime defeats Hudson 21-14. Brecksville over Stowe 33-13. Tallmadge over Revere 20-13. Nordonia over Twinsburg.
Don't say it.
Nordonia over Twinsburg.
What?
Field
Don't say it.
Field over Springfield. You'll see the scores in the ticker. Streetsboro
Don't
over
say it.
Norton. I
Don't
got
say
you.
it. We're just gonna keep it going.
How about shout out to Woodridge?
Can we say this one? Yeah,
Woodridge
no?
gets the win.
Dude, that's a good one. Woodridge good
Shout
one.
out to Coach Phil Martyr. CVCA over Triway 37-7.
Yep.
Warren JFK over Mogador. Somebody better check on Mogador.
They should. There's a lot.
27-8.
There's some weird things going on
Who's
between
that?
Mogador and even with St. V. And there's just a lot of teams that around that you're just
And then rounding it out,
don't-
Lake
definitely don't say that
defeats
one.
Cleveland
Yeah.
JFK.
That was-
So, Matt, what a
Check
week it
kickers.
was. I obviously didn't see any football as I was away with 0 cell reception.
Are you like 15-0?
No, I lost some games last week.
You
I
did?
went 3-2.
What did I do?
I did. We'll get there.
Oh, I'm
Let's.
sorry,
We'll get to the
I'm
recaps.
sorry.
Here's our pick'em recaps, though, from
Oh,
week
here we are.
number 6. South Range over Poland Seminary, 38-23.
Okay.
Firestone takes out the 1040, 31-26. I lost this game.
I was completely shocked
I was too
when
saw
I
the
was
score.
following this.
Akron
because-
Firestone. I'm going to give you your roses right now. That's a big win for you guys.
and the week before, the week before that, that's Walsh,
yeah.
and that was a rough game for Firestone. So for them to bounce back in the City Series,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people were going to give them a lot of credit going into that game, but
So there you go.
Well,
Carrollton
Book
gets
better
the
get it right.
win at Marlington 24-17.
it's a close one.
Ravenna upsets Cloverleaf 21-7.
We got that wrong too.
We did. And then our game of the week,
We
the
got this one
Hornets were victorious over Barberton. And I won't read the score. But anyway, Barberton, they'll get there.
Yeah.
I think some great things are coming. And
Coach Gatto already said it. I mentioned last week. Their freshman class
they're
is,
coming.
is solid. So I think Barberton's definitely building something over there. And it takes time. And every now and then you have that kind of that influx
Yeah.
with high school where it's not a strong class. And it's tough when you say that because again, you're talking about kids who are working their tails off.
Oh,
And sometimes it just doesn't line up.
guys,
So
you're gonna you win some, you lose some, and
Yeah,
that's just an
there's
unfortunate.
so many corny
sports in a
analogies
nutshell.
that we just
Yeah.
kind of, but they're true, and you have to you have to kind of remind yourself of them.
We'll get to our week 7 pick'ems here in a minute.
Okay.
Let's jump into it. Some outstanding stats of the week.
Let's hear them.
How about Nino Hill? We haven't said his name, I think, all season. Highly touted running back who is committed to Buffalo. 25 carries, 140 yards, and 3 touchdowns in their win over Green. Levi Kiko. Remember this name, guys. Just remember it. He is a sophomore at Carrollton. In one of our shows, we had an interview with Levi Kiko following their win over Howland. This time he goes 28 rushes for 154 yards and a touchdown. Folks, he's a sophomore.
That's nuts.
Christian Satterfield, senior running back from Jackson, 12 carries, 137 yards, and including an 80-yard house call. Christian Satterfield, have yourself a game,
There's a trend going on here, I'm noticing.
What is that?
The running back.
Well, guess what? You just jinxed it because the next one's not a running back. Jared Withrow, senior quarterback from Malvern, goes 22 of 30, 304 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You want to know the outstanding stat, though?
What is
He's
the outstanding?
6'5".
That's not.
That's tall for a quarterback.
That's an attribute. That's an attribute.
It's an attribute. Well,
you
6'5".
can't coach height.
6'5" as a quarterback. That's Josh Allen, 6'5".
That's a big boy.
Yeah,
that's a big boy.
And then a local shout out here, Andrew McKnight, junior wide receiver from Copley, 10 catches, 207 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
What's crazy is you think about last Saturday and how Friday.
Right.
So I wonder, were all these Friday night games?
Yes,
okay,
I believe so.
The reason I'm asking is where my mind's going is the weather last week. So that's why I thought there was just going to be a trend with running backs because everybody was trying to stick to the ground.
It didn't rain everywhere, though.
Yeah, I feel like it did.
Where I was, we got a little bit of rain, but it wasn't like a monsoon.
Well, then rain just must follow me. I guess I'm just such a cheerful person.
When you have
rain cloud follows me around and just dumps buckets on me.
Well, it is. It is what
all right,
it
Mike.
is.
Well, let's just move on with your show since we
no, it is not my show. Stop it. It's ours.
I'm in a mood.
I know you are. Matt,
today.
who is our feature athlete for week number 7?
Athlete Landon McLean, senior from the Waterloo Vikings.
Do you know where Waterloo is?
Yes, I do. It's out east.
Near Atwater.
Yeah, I sold a house out there.
I
actually
you
in
would
Waterloo School District.
Look at this.
See?
Look at this picture. This kid should be on a billboard.
That actually, he looks like he's 6'5" over top of us.
Well,
doesn't
he does. Looks fairly tall.
I like that's a good shot. That's a really cool
shot.
Well
done to whoever
QB,
took that photo.
DB, kicker, and special teams. Basically, put him down as an athlete across the board. Was Mahoning Valley's first team last season at cornerback. As of week 4, Landon was second in Portage County for passing attempts and completions, 25 of 49 for 378. Second in TDs with 5, and senior year is his first year as a QB.
Wow,
so
he's putting up stats, and it's his first year at quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about that. Sophomore, junior, he's contributing. They got to find a way to get him on the field, and now it's his time. So loves football, basketball, baseball, taking college prep classes. Man, he loves that.
He loves that.
Man, I like that. He is in the NHS.
Do you know what the NHS is?
Tell me.
National Honor Society.
I see.
I didn't want to spell it all out, so in the notes I put NHS.
Well, everyone abbreviates.
It could be Northwest High School too, but
it could have been. I might have went there, or God knows where else my mind could have took me. But National Honor Society, no, I have never seen those 3 letters have never been next to my name. No, there's other 3 letters that have been next to it. That's NHS.
Wow. We're not going there.
So on student council and his class president from his freshman year to his junior year.
So this kid's doing it all.
Doing a lot off the field.
Kudos,
like that.
Landon McLean. Kudos.
Going to study in engineering at Akron U or flight school.
Get out of here.
At Kent.
Listen, Landon.
How do you go from one to the other? I like that.
How do you pick? I mean, you're either going to be a pilot or you want to help build tanks.
Or he could be doing the engineering to help build planes.
That's true too.
Yeah, good to segue that.
And his favorite class, math. So help Landon, help us.
Smart
struggle.
kid. So Landon, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for sending in all of that information. Mike, how can someone else do that again?
Guys, go to the Facebook page, the 330 to go high school football show page. Go to the group. In the group, you will see a post. It says, do you want to be our feature athlete. You click on it. It's a Google document. Takes a minute to
Is
fill
that
it
it
out.
right now at the bottom right below us? Was that what
It should be. Look right below.
Yep. Exactly.
Fill it out, guys.
Fill it
and
out.
we'll talk
Send it
about
in.
your
Let's be able to do it.
student athlete. That's what we love, giving them their roses, as to say. So shout out Landon. Congrats, sir. Anyway,
that wraps up week 6.
Week 6. It's time to
talk some week 7.
Tonight the
Let's
weather
figure out why
looks
I'm in
to
a bad
be
mood.
absolutely perfect. Hey, listen, I went 10-0 2 straight, or 5-0 2 straight weeks.
I know.
I was living life, and then I went away, came back, and figured out that I went 3-2. As did you. 3-2.
We all
the
picked
fans went 2-3, and Tim Nichols went 3-2.
Wow.
So
fans went 2 and 3. They picked the opposite on what game did they pick wrong?
I believe it was the
Scroll back up for a sec.
Scrolling up, sir.
Sorry about that.
They had South Range. They had Carrollton. They had Highland, Cloverleaf.
So that would be 3 and 2.
No, they went 2 and 3 because I went back and watched the show. Maybe it was Barberton here. May have been. We do have a lot of fans in Barberton.
We'll do it live.
It's okay though. The fans. So here's the records as they stand. I'm still in first place, 22-8 on the season.
All right, what am I at?
Matt's at 20-10, and the fans are 19-11.
I'm gonna start getting desperate here.
And
I have to call these upsets.
I put Tim in because he made some good picks. He's 3-2.
Tim's 17 games back.
He's 17 games
Tim's
back.
17 games back. There's your
17
math,
games back.
There's your math, bud.
Anyway, some amazing games. Shout out to you, sir.
Thank you.
These are some really good games.
Changed it up,
including our game of the week.
I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more.
Man,
I think we need to. I really feel like we need to throw out some games and let the fans vote on it.
We do, and I agree with that. I think that's something that we should start doing. So fans, here you go. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to serve it up on a silver platter right now.
Okay.
Fans, go to the page. We're going to put up some games of the week that we think are good games of the week. You have the opportunity to add a game.
Yeah.
So add a game. And if we find it to be a good game, guess what?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
So we'll set it up for week 9.
Week 9, folks.
Because we need a week out.
Yep.
Because when you guys select what game of the week it's going to be,
we need time to reach out to the schools.
So that's why we'll do that. So we'll get that set up for 9. And, if it works out well, we'll roll it in 10.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
Whatever.
All right, folks. Time for week 7 pick'em games. We're going to start with a humdinger.
It's a lot of Holy Wars this week.
How about St. Ed's 3-3 traveling to 1-5 St. Ignatius?
When would you ever think that you would say 1-5?
Listen, St. Ignatius.
Their schedule though of who they're playing,
man,
they don't. It doesn't
it's brutal.
stop.
No,
it hasn't stopped.
It's brutal.
They've went from one. I mean, it's the next gauntlet to the next. Gauntlet.
They just played Hoban. I mean, they've played Walsh. I mean, St. Ignatius is.
And now they get St. Here's your reward. Here's St. Ed's.
I will take the St. Ed's Eagles tonight.
It's 3-3.
I think St. Ed's
3-3. You gotta remember
starting to.
What did you since you weren't here?
Yeah,
Glenville beating St. Ed's. I gotta let you have your moment because I gotta think that you were just you did turn off the computer.
Yeah, I did.
You were locked in. You were doing your thing. So oblivious to that, coming back and seeing that. Did you not think it was? Did you think it was a typo?
No,
okay.
I think that Glenville always has a phenomenal team. Coach Ted Ginn and the Tar Blooders, they're great, man, and they have usually played St. Ed's tight in their games. So St. Ed's, I'm not going to say it's a down year, but it's not a dominant year for them. Glenville just showed up and showed out, and they get the win. I was shocked when I read it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wow, okay.
I just wanted to see
Glenville's here to play, guys. So
crazy. Still crazy. Still shocked by that even a week later. So I still had to make sure that I got your take on it. Because
who'd the fans take in this one?
They took St. Ed's.
And you're going to take
St. Ed's.
Table of 3 St. Ed's.
Moving on.
Federal League action tonight in Jackson. The 5-1 Lake Blue Streaks take on the Jackson Polar Bears, who are 3-3. Give me the Blue Streaks, guys.
Dang it.
Dan DeGeorge and the Blue Streaks are rolling. They did have that hiccup to Perry, but I think the ship has been righted, and I think that Lake is still going. This is going to be a good game.
It is
going to be a good
Jackson.
game.
That's the thing. It's at Jackson.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, definitely hit you up.
Are you taking Lake as well.
Wadsworth. I am going to go with Lake as well with the fans. So
Fans took Lake, so back-to-back tables of 3.
Exactly.
CVCA, it is homecoming night. 4-2, the Royals hosting the 3-3 Fairless Falcons.
Fans are taking CVCA. I'm going to follow as well.
And it's an unfortunate. I will take 3 as well. My daughter goes to CVCA, guys.
Remember when you hyped up how great these games were, and there's no contrast whatsoever?
Well, guess what?
I think there is with the next 2.
We saved the last 2 because these 2 are absolutely phenomenal. How about 5-1 Hoban?
Yeah.
Traveling to 6-0 Walsh.
So it got kicked off last night. So I had to go to the freshman game.
Okay.
Because you want to see what's coming down the pipeline.
The future's bright.
Walsh jumped out 12-0.
Okay.
And it was looking like it was going to be over very, very quickly. Walsh had an unfortunate injury, and my thoughts and prayers are obviously with that family, and as everybody at Walsh is, because kids broke his. I think something happened with his leg or something along that lines. But thoughts, prayers with that family if they know who they are. I don't want to put out the name.
No, you're good.
But the Hoban fought back in. And it became this tug of war, and it ended with Walsh throwing a corner post, kind of, but they were out of timeouts with 5 seconds left. They had just completed a pass down to like the 2-yard line. Clock's running down, and then they throw up it wasn't a desperation, it was decent, but Walsh ends up losing 14-12. So that's how the weekend got kicked off. And the reason this weekend is so big is because Hoban has had to transfer all of their hatred and all that, nonsense of Mum Week. And I say nonsense. It's a cool thing. If you don't know about Mum Day, Hoban's been doing it for years. I say it's nonsense because I'm St. V, and I'm going to share no love that direction. But now it's coming towards Walsh. So all that energy. So that's why it's like Holy War Week. Going to be very interesting tonight. I think I want to see if the gaps change, if it's closed. Last year was
not even
the
close.
Longest first quarter of my life.
Yeah, Hoban absolutely decimated Walsh last year.
It was rough at Hoban, and I think everyone's trying to figure out Walsh sitting 6-0. Hoban, that one loss is to a team from Maryland. Still, until somebody beats them, how do you not pick them?
Well,
easy. I'm taking Walsh.
I know you're taking Walsh.
I'm taking Walsh.
And I am not. I am taking Hoban.
And so are the fans.
I will take Hoban. But
am I voting with my heart, or am I voting with
I don't know.
Upset?
You're trying to
I need to pick up 2 wins.
To catch some ground.
I got to do something.
I'm going to say this. I think this game is close. I know the weather tonight is supposed to be absolutely perfect. Milan, Paris.
Milan.
I'm going to call him whatever. Anyway,
like the place you go. Like I'm going to go to Milan.
Okay. He's a stud, and I hope Hoban's going to have to triple cover him. He is an incredible athlete.
Hoban's got a few. The Feaster kid at running back.
Yep.
He's going to be a real problem. Really well. We're going to see how he goes up against. And that's the thing. Hoban's been playing a tough schedule in some senses. I know I tease like they're playing out of state, but they've played a few teams.
Here's my question, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
Okay, that's always
what has Walsh's most difficult opponent been so far?
I would say Ursuline week 1 was a very close game.
Yeah,
that game last week with Benedictine.
You think the weather was?
I think the weather, and it sounded like, and we'll talk about this even with Coach Todd. We talked about it with him in his interview. Things just were not going Walsh's way during that game, but it never really felt like they were going to lose it, unless they were going to lose it themselves with mistakes. So I think that going into week 7 against Hoban, that's a great game to be able to have against a really good Benedictine team that is making a lot of noise and will in the playoffs. That gets you a lot more prepared. Where Hoban played, you were just saying you're not sure if it was a township or
they just walloped somebody.
They were playing Mayberry.
Was Barney Fife there? I
don't know. But they played that game in preparation to get ready. And it depends on how you look at that in a schedule format. Do you want to kind of have a team to get you ready for it? But I can tell you with certainty, I've been at every Walsh game, and I'm shocked at the amount of Hoban scouts that have been there since week 1.
Well, there you go. And that's why
so it's definitely in there.
That's why I didn't want it to sound disrespectful, because listen,
I don't think
Walsh
so
is 6-0.
Yes.
And they have had some really, really good games.
They played the team up out of New York. They went and played them. There was
Kinesis.
Yeah. this is definitely the big test.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game.
Circled on Walsh's schedule since the ending of last year because Hoban gave them both of their losses last year.
Walsh wants some retribution. They'll get it.
Yeah.
And that's game 1A.
1A.
This is 1A because
1A.
This one takes the cake, I think. It is the battle of the unbeatens. 6-0 Nordonia at 6-0 Wadsworth. You talked about Coach Todd from Wadsworth. How did that interview go? Because it was from my end, when I watched it after, it was really good.
Well, it's funny because we always try to do these interviews and keep them within a time frame just so that they're easier. Because the fans, as you're sitting there watching, they're like, when's this guy going to stop talking? So we always want to kind of keep it within 10 minutes just so that you can kind of catch it. And move along
we can play it on Instagram too if it's under 10.
Coach Todd, it ain't happening. And that's not a put down on him because
I love it.
He's so much fun to talk to. I mean, when he started talking about the breakdown of sophomore year, I just thought that was so intriguing. And I wasn't kidding. I mean, if I would definitely love for him to coach my kid.
Okay.
So if you
thinking about moving out to Wadsworth?
I don't know if I'm moving out to Wadsworth, but you understand where I'm coming from. He's
a phenomenal
what he's building
coach
out there, and we've seen it all the way through. The very first time me and you sat down and talked, we were covering Wadsworth and Barberton.
Yes, we were.
And we were trying to figure out who this Wadsworth identity is, what they're trying to build over there. They were running a 2 quarterback set way back then. And we've seen those kids come through, and now those same names are there. And you're seeing this building of a program that he has started with that sophomore. So even when he talks about that sophomore year, he knows he needs those sophomores to be able to build a program. Right. I think that's why it's so important. But the game, another thing, look at what they did against Hudson last week. How does that game not get them ready for Nordonia, where it's going to be?
Well, it's funny you mention it because what happened last year? Okay. Wadsworth defeats Nordonia in Nordonia. Nordonia was also undefeated last year. So it's deja vu, I think, a little bit. And we talked about that with Coach Jeff Fox with Nordonia.
Break that down.
I'm telling you what, other than having a little bit of technical issues.
Okay.
First, he couldn't join our interview because the school internet has some restrictions, which I applaud. Safety and restrictions and things like that, but he had to join via his phone, and it was a little glitchy at first, but we hit our stride. Coach Fox was fun, just talking about. He couldn't talk about one player, he couldn't talk about 5 players, he couldn't talk about 10. He literally was naming his entire team, of how well they have played and his coaching staff and just how well this team has played this year. And he talked about how big a game this was. And he was trying to remind the guys that you can't fall into the trap.
Yeah.
There's still a season left to be played, win or lose, guys. There's still other games on the schedule. You're still fighting for playoff seeding and things like that. So yes, a 6-0 game against a 6-0 team.
But some storylines, those storylines are the things that I know for me as a fan, getting the opportunity to sit up here and talk about, this is the fun part. This feels more like the excitement of week 1 where everybody's all excited, like when college football kicks off. Oh, it's great to see the Buckeyes. And then you realize, they're playing Bowling Green. And then, they're
playing Akron. They're playing the MAC
they're playing
schools again.
Mayberry. So anyways,
I love that.
What? Now you're in the conference play, or you're in the heart of the schedule as an independent, which is what we're seeing, out of the Walsh Hoban stuff like that. But these guys going out for conference play, this is the guess what divisions right this is? 2.
Yeah, this is big.
And both of these 2 are also in the same region as the other one we just talked about.
Geez.
So could you imagine? We just talked about 4 teams, and those are probably, when you start making the argument, the top 4 in that whole region for Division 2. So this has got a lot of implications to it to be able to kind of judge out what we think it's going to look like in the playoffs.
Tonight's going to be a big game. Nordonia comes in. They're riding a 6-game winning streak. Aside from a week 2 contest versus Berea Mid Park, where they only won by 7, 35-28. The rest of the night's games have not been close. They have only given up a total of 75 points this season. That's 12.5 per game. Defense is key right there. Their offense, led by senior quarterback Ben Chesser, who is completing 63% of his passes. He has thrown for 8 touchdowns. He's also added close to 400 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns. Man, I love a dual threat quarterback.
Oh,
it is so hard to try to.
You have to have it. It's a necessity in high school right now to be able to hit that read option.
And Coach Fox talking about the offensive line, their stud of an offensive line, and Ben Chesser, who in years before this is like they've run a heavy option type style offense this year, and it shows. He's doing well throwing the ball. He's doing well. And then if he's not running it himself, he's handing it off to Rocco DiLorenzo. They're one of their leading rushers.
Like that.
They have 3 running backs that they hand off to consistently, and all 3 are doing well. Nordonia, they have 3 receivers with over 10 catches. Listen, they're going to run the ball first. That's how it happens. They're going to lull you to sleep with that run, and then when you fall asleep,
you're going to try to lean on them.
Throw it over the
top. They're going to try to
lean
on them, and that's what a lot of teams. It's funny when we're talking about how they haven't played a lot of their games fully all the way through the 3rd and the 4th. These teams can come out and air it out and spread it out if they wanted to. But the most important part is when you get to this part of that schedule is being able to assert yourself onto somebody else.
Yes, sir.
So Nordonia, I can tell you firsthand from the years that we've went up there and played against them in youth, I don't know what the water line does. Is it old Route 8 or something? I don't know. The kids up there are on. Actually, I mean, all the schools that way. It's just the kids just start getting ridiculously huge.
Well, let's talk about their defense, led by senior linebacker Caleb Aiken, 55 tackles, 1 sack, 2 fumble recoveries, and 3 tackles for loss. He anchors the defense. When I read these stats, my goodness, I get goosebumps. 13 sacks, 64 tackles for loss, 6 interceptions, 9 forced fumbles, 12 fumble recoveries. To borrow a line from one of my favorite wrestling commentators, tonight is going to be a slobber knocker, folks. It is going to be a game. I wish I could watch it live. I won't be there live. I will be following it. I will be in Glen Oak for the Green Glen Oak game tonight. You said you're going to be at Walsh.
I'm going to head up to Walsh.
So I got to do my Q92 thing again tonight. I missed it last week, but I'm ready to be back up in the booth.
Drop some stuff on the page for us.
I will do my best. Yes, if I should have plenty of time.
I'm going to try to send out a video to show everybody the craziness before the game.
As long as it doesn't rain. Knock on wood.
Why would you even?
Knock on wood.
Why do we?
Because now I got it in your head that you have to bring your rain gear.
I'm not bringing it.
No,
it's not happening.
All right. Wadsworth, they're also 6-0. They needed overtime to beat Hudson last week for a battle of first place. The rest of their games, folks, just like Nordonia, have not been close. The Grizzlies have given up only 66 total points this year. That's 11 per game.
It's a mirror.
This is going to be a defense. Their offense is led by junior running back Gavin Madigan, 82 rushes for 726 yards, 11 touchdowns. Junior wide receiver Calix Lemp, who only played in 1 game last year. Unfortunately, before suffering a season-ending injury, he leads the wide receiver room with 20 receptions, almost 400 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Madigan leads the defense with 50.5 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 interceptions. How about that from a linebacker? I love it. This defense has 11 sacks, 31 tackles for loss, 6 interceptions. Coach Todd will have his team ready to go. Coach Fox will have his team ready to go. Running is going to be the game plan. Who's the first one to stop? Who's the first one to blink? My goodness.
Here and it goes. And the fans.
This is awesome.
The fans have voted for Wadsworth.
Well,
I'm going to take Wadsworth.
I am going to take the Nordonia
There
Knights.
We got one. Well, we got 2.
We have 2 separate games tonight. I take Hoban.
Could I fall
and take Nordonia? Listen, I think those 2 games are going to be
Walsh
to the wire.
Yes. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to see it.
Listen,
I'm liking it.
What does that mean? So
that's
tonight,
5-0. That's what it means.
Tell us where you're at. Show us pictures. Post some scores. You'll see the main post that goes up asking for scores.
Yep.
Chime in, folks. Tell us where you're at. Tell us which teams you are watching and celebrating with tonight. I cannot wait. The weather is supposed to be absolutely gorgeous. We're going to let you know where we're going week 8 next week.
Yep.
There's the teaser for you because there's a few games I want to see how they play out.
We're at our flex schedule.
We are.
We're starting.
We're
going to
be the Pro Football National Football League where they do the flex
the fans
schedule.
Deserve it. They've been following along. We got to be able to put some solid games out.
We do. Not saying that we have not picked bad games. I love the games of the week. I love all the coaches' interviews that we have done thus far. They just continue to get better, just like wine. They get better with age.
And that's why you just want to be able
each week is something is different. So shout out to all the schools that have allowed us to interview your coaches. We appreciate all of you. Matt, good luck tonight at Walsh.
Thank you.
Have fun. I can't.
It's gonna be a lot of cowbells. Gonna hear a lot of cowbells
I want
tonight.
Score updates. I want score updates.
I'm going to be down there. I'm going to do some updates. I'll probably, like I said, before the game, get a little something there.
Yep.
And then I'll throw in the scores on that comment section.
I will be watching intently.
We'll just make that whole comment section kind of.
Let's go.
The Walsh, Hoban.
All right. Do we want to recap our pick'ems or do we think we got them?
No, 5-0.
Oh, Nelly.
5-0.
I love it. I love the confidence.
I like it.
Matt is ready to go. I am ready to go.
I'm excited. It's
once again, folks.
It's the day.
Thanks for tuning in to the 3-3-0 to go high school football show. Until next week, be good. You matter. See you next week.
Take care.